Welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Wednesday, the 16th of March. Looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday was a pretty tight ranging day. The reason being is later on today we've got the FOMC statement coming out, the second day of the FOMC meeting, and at 6 p.m. this evening we've got the FOMC economic projections, the statement, the funds rate, and press conference at 6:30, so plenty to go on there, and I've got a feeling we may just see one of these days where we don't get a lot of action on most of the markets. Now the exception may be on the pound dollar, which we'll look at in a moment, but we've got the employment numbers coming out at 9:30 this morning. Sorry, in the US actually, we just may also give us a bit of a trigger around about 12:30. So we've got a couple of numbers that may come out and may give us some movement in today's trading. But in the main, we're looking at yesterday, if that's anything to go by, that's the tightest range I've seen in the euro for some time actually. It may be that we just don't really get a lot of action. So we'll see. So it doesn't bode well. You just see the way it's consolidating in this sort of ham-fisted looking wedge pattern. So there it is on the 60-minute. It's not really giving me any other clues. I'm just going to just bring it out a little bit and just take a bit of a zoom in effectively here of what's going on. We've already gone through the daily pivot. We're well on the way down to the S1, yesterday's lows. It could just continue on there, but it's one of those I may just have missed a trade already. It feels current trend line. Well, I'm going to be putting it down here somewhere for the downside. Sorry, potential breaks to the upside, I should say. And I've popped it on this candle at the moment. We've still got 20 minutes or so, 23 minutes before this candle's finished, but possibly that's the sort of the wedge that's sitting, the very short-term wedge from yesterday. Now, will I be able to trade this? Probably not. If it breaks the low, it's not got a lot of meat in it towards yesterday's lows. There's a possibility we'll have to have a look at that. I'll have a look at that post 8 o'clock time. But a break of the upside, if we can get through the hourly 50, well, there's much more of a target on that side up to possibly yesterday's highs, which sort of gives us about, well, not very much, 18 pips or 23 pips. And when you see this and you look at sort of where yesterday's lows is 10 pips or so away, and the time you get a bit of spread on it, it really isn't filling me with a massive excitement, because then the near-term sort of support and resistance levels. Now we've still got a weekly pivot untouched below on the euro, and there is the possibility we could run down to that. So maybe we've got a bit of a bigger target there of about 20 pips. So that's how it looks at the moment. We'll see how this candle finishes off, and it may give me an option for a sell point. I'd prefer with the lower highs, lower lows to be towards the sell side on this at the moment. So the pound dollar. So we've got news out, the employment news out at 9:30. Can always give a kicker. Now the pound sold off, now much bigger range yesterday than the euro had. Sold off quite strongly back to its monthly pivot and through, looking quite bearish from where it was. One stage looking like it had a hope, and now it's looking like it's got no hope at this juncture. Although already down to its S1. Very fact it's done that, and it's in this sort of strong trend, makes the upside targets look weak at the moment unless the jobs report comes out very good. If that's the case, then we could be kicking back up towards that sort of area, back up to that 34, maybe the daily pivot. Points wise here from where we are, well, it's quite a few pips there. It's as I said, yesterday it did move, unlike the euro. We had quite a kicker with it, and it just continued selling off yesterday, particularly around the 9 o'clock session. So that's cable. I'm not even going to look at the dollar yen. It's not really been doing anything. So Aussie dollar. Looking at the Aussie dollar, as I said, Dow so goes now run into these highs here. There was a divergence at the highs. It's rolled over. It looks like it may have some more legs, and it's already breaking through sort of some of the shorter term, the 4-hourly moving averages, but we are on the daily band at the moment. This may hold it. If it breaks this, well, really I'm looking at the daily 21. If it can break through this level back within the R2 rather, would be a good starting point for a move back to that 21 moving average. And again, it's a reasonable movement yesterday, and it's got some scope for, to say, some downside here. We'll just see how this breaks, but it's looking so bearish already. The Aussie dollar here, it's double bottoming. Got some potential to just continue in that mode really. It's just getting into positions, and targets are, as I say, really I'll be looking at the bigger picture for the target here. If we can break where we are now, if we can just carry on pushing, see how this hour finishes. If we can break the lows of it, there's a chance we'll head on, as I say, south towards the daily 21. Okay, Canadian dollar. In fact, before I do this in just traditional way, I need to just have a quick look at what oil's up to. Okay, oil's coming off a bit still. It's not massively off, but its trend is a little bit off there. So let's come back and see Canadian dollar. So you see the Canadian dollar effectively heading back up. Hasn't caught its monthly pivot yet, and there's a possibility that'll get done. So if we start seeing sort of an edge up above yesterday's high, well, obviously the next point of resistance is that daily 21 on this chart. Somewhere near that sort of region. There's some prior highs around that level. Maybe that will give us some resistance, but that's certainly a possibility. There's quite a few, nearly 90 odd pips from here to there. So we'll see how it pushes on after 8 o'clock. At the moment, again, it's that's sort of like an inverted Aussie dollar really, with this sort of pattern that we've got kicking here. Say, well, untouched daily pivot, a rollover would give me a target back to that sort of level. Alternatively, really, I'm looking at the R1s here at the moment, and say beyond that daily 21 sits at 34.72 sort of area. So 34.72, right the way up the top here towards the daily R2 there. Okay, that's it for me. Nothing else from there. As I say, the news-wise, already mentioned, but just to run through that again, this morning at 9:30 for the UK, we've got the employment report coming out. So it often creates quite a bit of volatility. Following on at midday now at 12:30 instead of 1:30, we've got the US CPI figures coming out. It's a bit of building boom. It's on the less interest now. Inflation figure would be the key number there. And then at 6 o'clock, we've got the start of the FOMC statements, etc. So it's the economic projections, the statement, the Fed funds rate, and then at 6:30 we'll get the press conference. So looking at for some volatility this evening. Have a great day. That's it for me. Bye for now.